I crashed a lot. In fact, I crashed 13 times in my first 18 months.
You all right, dude?
My dad always liked motorbikes, and I think he had a CZ when I was very, very young. I vaguely remember, and he got an old Vespa, cut the wings off it, welded some foot pegs on, and I think I was 5 or maybe 6, and when I first rode that. Unfortunately, then he passed away when I was quite young, and life took a turn where the mini bikes weren't an option. But when I was 17, I left home at 16. At 17, I bought a Z200 Kawasaki, single cylinder 4-stroke, 128 kilometers an hour with one hand on the fork stanchion. I killed that bike in about 6 or 7 months, roughly. I bought an RD250 LC, and within 6 to 9 months, I was on the racetrack. Well, I'd always wanted to race cars, actually, but cars are very expensive. And so I thought, you know what? I could buy a motorbike and I could start on the motorbike and then I'll move to cars. And I never moved to cars, so I ended up staying on the bikes. It sort of came naturally to a point, and then I started making lots and lots of errors, and I crashed a lot. In fact, I crashed 13 times in my first 18 months. And then I got hold of Keith Coates' first book, A Twist of the Wrist. And that revolutionized my view of it. And so I took that natural ability of what I could do with my body, and then I educated myself and learned how to actually apply it. And that's what sort of took me forward in racing. So I went from C grade to A grade in 18 months. And because I understood riding so well, I could communicate it, and I used that ability to communicate riding to sell stuff. So for example, you could come in with your bike and I could look at your tyres and I could tell you what you like to do and not do on the bike, or where your strengths and weaknesses were, and they'd go, how do you know that? I must have been talking about the idea of taking guys to racetracks, because a customer at one point, he pulled out a $100 note and he slapped it on the counter. He said, stop talking about it and do it. There's my deposit for your first school. So I'm like, okay, you're on, $100, I can do that. So it took about 3 months after that, I think, and that's when I took the riders to the racetrack. And no flag marshals, no ambulance, no catering, no anything. We just turned up and rode around. We rode into the town for lunch and then came back out. The business started with me taking those 5 guys to the track. We started running some track time with it, and then we'd have it like a combination of a session of school and sessions of track day. And as it sort of grew and morphed, then we found we needed to separate them out because we were getting too many people to do them together. I'm now doing 85 days between here and Phillip Island. Well, look, if someone's just got their license, I would advise they get just a little bit more experience under their belts. I mean, I have had very inexperienced riders at the track, and for them, probably their first time at the track should probably be with a training school of some description. That will probably help them be more comfortable in the environment. But someone like yourself that, you know, has not been to the track ever, but you've been on the road a long time, well, what's the fear for coming out here? The fear is it's a racetrack. Well, you know what, today it's not actually a racetrack. What it is a controlled environment. The road is an uncontrolled environment. On the road, you have multiple ways that you can access it, and you have all sorts of things around corners that you have no idea what there is. Here, you have one way you can access it. You go out there, everyone's going in the same direction. If there's something around the next corner you're not going to like, we'll flash a light at you or wave a flag at you. And then you come back in. If you do happen to make an error, there's nothing to hit. There's no telegraph poles, there's no bus stops, there's no anything. So it's actually safer riding here at the speeds you're riding at than it is riding on the road. So what I would suggest is if you really want to enjoy your motorcycle and you are not sure about the idea of where or how you could do that, this controlled environment is the best place you can do it. One of the things I've always loved about the track is that it gives you a high, right? And the reason you get a high from it is because when you're out there, you exist purely in present time. You do not have attention for what's happened in the past, what's happening in the future. You have to be in the moment. So I want people to come away from this thing getting that feeling, because it's a euphoria, you know. It's like you're excited but calm. You know, you're happy but tired. So I want them to come away just going, that was amazing. How cool was that?
We had a great day interviewing Steve and out on track at Sydney Motorsport Park, and you can check out a video here with my first time and Tegan's first time on track.